Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. Jason Dedeker, hope you're doing better than I am today.
Aw, Emily is a very sick lady today.
Yeah. Yikes.
We could pray for you.
This is like the most I've talked. Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
That's a good, I like that response. That's good. It's, thanks.
Thanks.
Well, I don't know. I mean, anyone who grew up in the church, or at least the evangelical church. Okay, I have to keep hedging it. This was my experience growing up in the evangelical church, was that I'll pray for you or I'll pray about it was your default answer to basically get through any conversation or get out of any obligation.
Do you think anyone actually did pray?
Oh, I think they did.
Yeah,
I think they did. But as a response, it's just this perfect filler response, you know? So it's like someone asks you to do something that you don't really want to do. You could be like, I'll pray about it.
I was informed recently that my partner's mother prays for me, so
that's
thanks.
nice.
I'm willing to bet you have more than just her praying for you, Emily.
Yeah, I think...
Who?
I bet there's a lot of
I bet you
people...
my mom prays for you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Tamra.
A lot of people. Yeah. No, but it was...
Maybe all the people
listening
to the show pray for me.
Probably.
Yeah. Or a lot of... You've just opened up to me about some really difficult struggle in your life, and I don't know what to say or how to support you, so I'm just going to say I'll pray for you.
I see. Yeah.
So it's kind of this catch-all, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
I think the actual intent to pray for someone is not a bad intent. However, just the general slap a Band-Aid on it kind of approach of the whole I'll pray for you or I'll pray about it. I don't know how I feel about, but...
Yeah.
I'm sure it's good intentions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized for a long time when I was younger that praying was really just sort of a form of like contemplation or reflection that I was doing.
It's like meditation, but not quite.
Not quite.
Kind of a little more I don't want to say more active than meditation, but like a little more
dialogic.
Yeah, a little bit more like formulating it in a dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it so I have found that in modern times, I will still do something like it sometimes when I feel like I want that kind of centeringness of just sort of like kind of clarifying some of my thoughts or feelings about something when I don't want to like sit and journal, or it's not quite big enough that I want to do that, that I'll do something sort of like praying, even though I'm not personally addressing it to any particular thing that I believe exists.
See, for me, if I catch myself praying, that's a red flag.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's a red flag to me.
Wait, what kind of red flag?
Yeah, about what?
Okay, if I catch myself doing something that feels like prayer to me, as in trying to put out some kind of like magical thinking manifestation, or praying to just like whoever's listening, like, oh gosh, I hope this thing doesn't happen, or can you make it so that this thing happens? If I catch myself doing that, that is a 100% indicator to me that like stuff's out of control in my life.
Interesting.
Because I don't do that all the time. I haven't really done that since I was young, since I was a Christian. I meditate and stuff like that. But if I've switched into that kind of thinking of just like kind of trying to magical thinking my way into a situation, then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to take a step back and find a way to calm down or find a way to actually get my stuff in order or something like that.
I think that's a whole interesting discussion that would be cool to have sometime, maybe next time we have a guest or something, but to talk about like prayer culture and kind of like what prayer was. Because I do think that I knew a lot of people. Has it
changed?
Well, no. I mean, like for individual people or within certain churches or within certain social groups, because I know a lot of people who, for them, prayer is very much like what Dedeker was just describing, where prayer is like manifesting, or it's like just asking for a certain outcome, or it's like a way of feeling like you can influence things you can't really influence. And that wasn't how I was raised to think about it. I was kind of raised to think like that's not what prayer is for, and you shouldn't do that, that that's inappropriate to do. Because it implies that you know better than God.
I was given a prayer formula though to follow. Yeah, because I think my initial like when you're a kid, it was kind of like God is kind of like Santa, and you ask
Thank
him.
goodness you're telling me all this, because I was gonna like be ignorant and be like, "How do you pray?" So there seems to be like different ways.
Well,
it can really vary. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was given the prayer formula of you start out by praising God.
Yeah.
That's important. You can't rush straight to the ask. You got to start out with
He
praising
needs to know
God
how much you care about him
and thanking God for the stuff you do have.
Mm-hmm.
Then you make the ask. Then you close out with some more praise and maybe thanks.
Okay.
So it's a compliment sandwich.
It's a compliment sandwich with the Lord. Well, but that's that's a good question. Emily, what was your perception of prayer when you were growing up? Not, as someone who doesn't really participate in it.
Well, initially I was like, oh yeah, it's just asking for things. But then when, you talk about other people, well, yeah, I mean, maybe it is then, because it's like, if Josh's mom is praying for me, I'm assuming she's like, I'm praying that Emily is doing good and stuff, and maybe that she'll come into your light one day, God.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows what she's praying for?
Yeah.
It's a big ask. But yeah, I don't know. Perhaps I'm not sure if that's actually what's going on. But yeah, that's kind of what I perceived it to be. Like that if you are praying for someone, it's like praying for their well-being to a degree.
Yeah, or if someone's
I think
sick,
so,
just kind of
putting
forward
coming back around.
Exactly.
Right.
Everyone.
Lifting you up. We're going to lift Emily up today. That the Lord will speed her healing and her recovery.
But anyway,
and
I think
give her hey, you're interrupting my prayer.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done. I can never tell when these things are finished.
Sneakily roped things into a prayer.
Okay. Okay, great. Anyway, I do think it's interesting because I don't really know what other people's experience was of like what they thought prayer was, how they were taught to do it, because I never got a prayer formula, and I wonder how different that is. We also moved a lot when I was a kid, so I went to a lot of different churches and got a variety of different denominations and different congregations and different people kind of with their own takes on kind of what is good and not good when it comes to praying. Anyway, I'd love to talk about that sometime with a guest.
But wait, if you're not praying, if you're not asking for something, what are you doing when you're praying?
I guess there's an element of asking, but it's, I guess, more of a question of, are you asking for a specific outcome, or is it more like I'm seeking like clarity or guidance on like what choice I should make, which is a little different.
Could also be
more like your angel cards.
Sort a little bit like those, yeah.
But it could also be, I think, I saw a lot of examples of prayer where it could just be you verbalizing that you are going to just give this up to God and kind of verbalizing your letting go, essentially, of the situation and knowing like, and Lord, I trust you and I know that you have a plan and I know that this will all figured out, this will all get figured out. It'd be great if you figured it out this particular way, but...
Yeah. All right.
Wow,
well,
what a great little discourse on prayer.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Indeed. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Reach out
Please
to us on
know how
Twitter
you all
and on
pray.
Instagram and all the places. Let us know what you think about prayer.
Yeah. Should we read a Bible today?
I think we should.
Okay.
What did we talk about last time?
Now you're turning it back on me. Well, we finished our previously on, I think. Right? Did we reach the end of it? Or is that like all of Deuteronomy?
No, I think we did reach
I think we reached it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we did. And there was some talk about Og, the king of Bashan, and his cool ass bed.
Mm-hmm.
How tall he was.
It was a big bed.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And wasn't it made of steel or wrought iron or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't want to go into it now, but Dedeker and I went down a big rabbit hole of like mattress and bed technology history the other day, trying to understand
I think
why
you
people...
should share with us during a bonus time.
During the bonus. We'll talk about it then, yeah.
Yeah. I did see a man who could have been related to Og or in that whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
In the tribe when I was at the Magic Castle with our friends last Saturday. Yeah, this man must have been like, he was probably like 7 feet tall.
Goodness.
He was just outrageously huge. But if you look at that and then like these guys, the Og and all them, they were like 13 feet?
Supposedly, that's kind of what we calculated based on...
Well, his bed was 13 feet tall.
Yeah.
So he might have been a little less than that, but still, that's pretty tall. Yeah.
Like what, 12 feet? What? Can you imagine?
Maybe
he would
he
have
just
hit the
liked
ceiling of the Magic Castle.
Maybe he just liked having a big old bed. You don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I would like a bigger bed, but yes. All right. What are we drinking today?
Boy, let's see. I'm going to be drinking a Green Label beer today, which is basically the sort of middle-of-the-road beer you drink in Japan. That's my impression of it.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a horoyoi, which we've talked about on the show before. It means half drunk. They're these basically slightly alcoholic sodas that are great. Mine is a cassis and orange flavor. And
that sounds nice.
Cassis? I don't know. In Japanese, they call it
cassis.
kashish. They call it kashish. So, no, cassis. I have no idea what that is, and but it's really popular in Japan. They love it, and I finally Googled it, and it is a syrupy blackcurrant liqueur produced mainly in Burgundy. So it's kind of a delicious like blackcurrant and orange little mixy flavor drinky thing, and I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What about you, Emily? Tell us about what you're drinking on this sick day.
So I'm double fisting it over here because I didn't want to like deprive myself of some fun. But, and I'm not on any, like, medication or anything. I'm just, like, going the homeopathic route here of trying to cure myself. But with that, I am drinking both a Rosé Brut by Underwood that's in a can. It's actually really good. But, Trader Joe's, you can get a bunch of crazy stuff there. But along with that, I am drinking a homemade, tonic, basically, tea. It's hot, of ginger that's been cut up and simmered, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and garlic, and a little maple syrup to taste. Wow. It is like drinking soup, like kind of a ginger garlic soup.
You know, that
it's
soup
really
that everyone
intense.
loves
Yeah,
and
my
drinks all the
favorite
time.
soup.
Yeah, no, it's not good, but I hope it does the trick. I really do.
I mean, is it making you feel any better?
At the moment, I'm sitting down. I'm talking to the two of you. I'm having some wine. I'm feeling better.
Okay, that's an endorsement.
Yeah, it was
solid.
You heard me at the beginning of this. I was very irritable, and I'm a little bit less so that's good.
It's true.
I mean, that might be the rosé more so than the ginger garlic soup.
Maybe, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So today we're going to be reading Deuteronomy 5, 6, and 7. We actually have 3 chapters today, so we can each read one of those. 5, 6, and 7. And as we get started, we want to remind everybody to read responsibly and drink responsibly.
You can drink along with us, or you can listen while you're in the car.
But please do not do both at the same time. And with that, we're on to Deuteronomy 5. Oh boy, here we go. This is definitely the most I've talked all day today. Okay. Moses called to all Israel and said to them, "Hear, Israel, the statutes and the ordinances which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them and observe to do them." Okay, more statutes and ordinances. It's been a second since we've done this, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, a couple episodes since we've had some statutes and ordinances. Maybe 3 episodes.
Yeah, it feels like a little while. Okay. Yahweh, our God, has made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahweh didn't make this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive this day. Yeah, I mean, we're standing here, so we're alive, Moses.
Yeah.
Cool. Yahweh spoke with your face. Oh, sorry.
What?
With you face. I thought that it said he spoke with your face.
That was pretty. I wouldn't put it past them to say
Yeah, it's
something like
true.
that.
Yeah, but no, he spoke with you face to face on the mountain out of the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahweh and you at the time to show you the word of Yahweh, for you were afraid because of the fire, and didn't go up onto the mountain, saying, I am Yahweh your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. I remember this. This was
Okay.
back before the golden calf.
Oh yeah, we're kind of recapping the 10 Commandments. Maybe we did preview
Yeah.
that would happen.
Exactly. Wait, how long ago was that? Like
The 10 Commandments.
year wide? Well, yeah. Like how
You
long
mean in our
has it
timeline
been?
or in the Israelites' timeline?
I don't know. In the history of the world's timeline.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between ours and the Israelites?
Well,
No, she meant
like the podcast
how many
timeline.
episodes ago, or like
Yes.
how many?
No.
years?
Sorry, the Israelites. We're talking about the world. Like how long has it been since they were up on this mountain and the commandments were made into the stone face?
Well, okay. From BibleHub.com/timeline, Moses receives the commandments in 1446 BC.
Okay.
1446, and now we're in Deuteronomy, which is 1406. So 40 years?
Yeah.
It's weird to go backwards in time and
I
have that
know,
actually be
right?
forwards. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Okay. It's like we're in Australia or something. Like everything's flipped on its head. Okay.
It swirls down the other way. Time, that is.
Exactly.
Time goes
Exactly.
down the toilet the other way.
Okay, so 40 years. So conceivably, some of these people are new people and some of the people who were there are dead.
Well, I think all of them, except for a couple, would be dead, right?
Yeah, that was the
Well,
implication.
that's the thing. So why is he saying this?
Because it's
He's
new
like,
people. They weren't there. He's got to review it with
No,
them.
it is confusing, though, because he's
Yes,
saying,
exactly.
but God gave this with us and not with your fathers.
But I
Yeah,
think
the
he's
timeline's weird.
Yeah, that is confusing.
That's why I'm asking. I'm like, what? Because you sure, Mose?
Yeah.
You sure, Mosey?
Unless,
I don't think
unless it's one of these things where the timeline of Deuteronomy jumps back a little bit.
Or
Uh-huh.
Or is he saying this in a way of like, this isn't a covenant that Yahweh made that you can think about it like, oh, he made that with our fathers, with our previous generations, so we don't need to worry about it. And Moses is reiterating, no.
Speaking
it's
more
still
metaphorically.
relevant to us today. It's not just, maybe that's what he's saying?
Maybe, yeah. So this is his kind of reminder to the new people. Hey, this is with us, not just our fathers.
Yes.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. Yeah,
Interesting.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. So you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make an engraved image for yourself, nor any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You should. I don't know if that's how earth works, Moses, but sure. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, your God, am a jealous God. Yeah, no poop. You are. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, and on the third and on the fourth generation of those who hate me, and showing loving kindness to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments.
Okay.
There's a lot to unpack there. What's happening?
So right.
Visiting the iniquity of fathers on the children and on the third and on the fourth generation.
He's reiterated this a couple times before, that if you do something wrong, I know I'm a forgiving and loving kind God, but if you do something wrong, I'm not just going to punish you. I'm going to punish your children and your children's children and your children's children's children.
And in this case,
I see.
4 generations.
Yeah, I see. Okay. And then I'm going to show loving kindness to those who love me and keep my commandments.
And by loving
Okay.
kindness, I mean I'm going to allow them to live and not die in a fire.
No, he gives them
So,
the ability to mess people up in battle and take their lands.
Sure,
And
okay,
not
that too.
and not feel bad about it.
That
He gives
too.
them that.
That is the paragon of loving kindness.
Yep.
I don't know about that. So basically God's blackmailing everyone.
I don't know.
Maybe not blackmailing, but
Blackmail's
he's
not
like,
quite the right word.
It's just that he doesn't
Well,
really love
okay,
them
he's like-
unconditionally. It's kind of a conditional love.
Oh, it's conditional for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
100%
okay, fine.
conditional.
Cool. So, you shall not take the name of Yahweh your God in vain. Whoops, done that a lot in my life. For Yahweh will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy as Yahweh your God commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is Sabbath to Yahweh your God. In it you shall not do any work, you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox. Well, okay. I guess you won't put the animals to work.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what if a dog like starts digging? I mean, technically he's working, right?
What if it picks up sticks?
Exactly. What if he just wants to play and you're like, we got to kill this animal, which is horrible.
What if he fetches your slippers?
Nope.
Or your paper? Yeah,
No. Can't do
seriously, it's awful. So, nor your ox, nor your donkey, nor any of your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you.
I mean, I do appreciate that Yahweh does throw that in there. That it's like the Sabbath day is a day of rest, not just for you, but for everyone here. Everyone who's in your tribe. You know, you can't just be like, well, that's my day to not do anything while I make my servants do extra work, you know?
No, totally. Yeah. I do like that because I'm watching this HBO show Succession about like a bunch of like very, very wealthy like Rupert Murdoch types. And they all have manservant and maidservant type people. And I'm like, they definitely don't give them a day off, I feel. Maybe they do, but yeah, it's nice that God just incorporated that in there for everyone. All right. Where am I? You shall remember that you were a servant in the land of Egypt, and Yahweh your God brought you out of there by a mighty hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore, Yahweh your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother as Yahweh your God commanded you, that your days may be long and that it may go well with you in the land of Yahweh which your God gives you. So we're like doing a crash course in like the 10 Commandments, right? Is that what this is?
We're reiterating these still stand.
But I mean, he's clarifying some of them a little bit more than they were last time, I thought. I feel like last time when we read the 10 Commandments, we blew through it a lot faster than I...
Well, last time,
we blew I feel like we're blowing through it again.
Well, we blew through the 10 Commandments and then it was all the bylaws forever.
Right, all the clarifications. Yeah, that's true.
Wonder if we're going to do that again.
Maybe.
How fun. Okay. You shall not murder, neither shall you commit adultery, neither shall you steal, neither shall you give false testimony against your neighbor, neither shall you covet your neighbor's wife, neither shall you desire your neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. Don't you be looking at his ox or his donkey.
I know he's got that real strong ox, but no, you can't want it. Don't covet that.
Was that 10? I guess it might have been. So, yeah, okay. These words Yahweh spoke to all your assembly on the mountain out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more.
I mean...
Except for all the other stuff that he added.
Yeah.
But I guess didn't add more to that particular list to everyone. Right? He added more that he said just to Moses, but this was to everyone, I guess.
Well, it still was
Didn't
to Moses.
But it still
say
was
that to
through
everyone?
Moses.
Yeah, it was still through Moses.
But I guess
This
they
is a confusing
saw it,
book.
Yeah. But they saw it there. Like the fire was there and everyone was in front of it and Moses just had to translate as always, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so he added no more. He wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. It happened when you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness, while the mountain was burning with fire, that you came near to me, even all the heads of your tribes and your elders, and you said, Behold, Yahweh our God has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. We have seen this day that God does speak with man, and he lives. Meaning, like, God lives? Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, that Yahweh's real, I think, is what they all saw.
Now, therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us if we hear the voice of Yahweh our God any more than we shall die. What?
Yeah, I think Yahweh said something to that effect of like, if
He's like, don't listen to me, you'll die.
Yeah, that the peoples can't listen directly or they'll die.
Okay.
Like Yahweh kind of spoke. This was confusing at the time because I remember when we were reading this back in Exodus being confused about it, of like, Because it mentioned at some points, like it's mentioning here, that all the people actually hearing Yahweh's voice.
Yeah.
But then other times it's like, no, you can never hear it. It only has to come through Moses. And I remember that being confusing. But here it does imply that they did hear some, which was not.
But then we can't hear more.
Yeah.
Interesting, because his voice is like the Ark of the Covenant. Like his voice is that those thunder and lightnings and things that come out of the Ark.
Yeah, those kind of
and melt
things.
people's faces. I guess.
He's got one of them voice melting faces. I mean, face melting voices.
Voice melting faces. Yeah. Okay. So for who is there all flesh that has heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the midst of the fire as we have and lived? I mean, Moses, clearly.
Yeah, but I guess that's part of the we here, right?
Oh, okay.
But like we're the only people in the world who've heard God or Yahweh speak.
Oh, I see. As we have and lived. Yeah. Okay. We meaning maybe he and Aaron. I don't know. Did Aaron hear anything?
I think he's using more of a general we, because again, like we're saying that it seems like everyone heard Yahweh speaking this time, just this once.
Okay.
Everyone actually heard Yahweh's voice.
Except that they weren't. Like, this is a different version of the story, because actually they were partying it up and down.
Yeah,
while the Ten Commandments were being put on those tablets of stone. They were, golden calves were springing out of fires, and there was all this debauchery. And no, they didn't hear the voice of Yahweh.
But
like Moses is like retelling this story, and he's like, I'm just going to gloss over that part because it's kind of embarrassing.
Well,
and
maybe
I
he
destroyed the tablets, and I would really just rather not talk about it. Let's just talk about how penitent you were after the fact.
Do you remember when Moses broke the 10 Commandments because he was so pissed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not mentioning that.
Well, we'll see. Let's see.
Yeah, he's
Let's
kind of
see.
condensing the story. But there was the point where everyone came up and the fire was on the mountain, and I remember it saying that Yahweh actually spoke to them. But I do feel like those were two separate events that maybe are getting condensed into one now.
I know, this is weird. Maybe he, just made a pass for everyone, this one time to hear it. It was like, everyone, this is really cool. You get one, okay? You get one time to hear me, and then that's it.
This is
and
how you
no
know
more.
I mean business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, go you near and hear all that Yahweh... What? Go you near and hear all that Yahweh our God shall say, and speak you to us all that Yahweh our God shall speak to you, and we will hear it and do it.
Okay, so Moses is now playing the Israelites, telling him to go speak to Yahweh.
Yeah, on their behalf. Yeah, okay.
This is very confusing.
Back in
Moses.
verse 24, it said, "And you said," and I think we're still in this quote. So, "And you, the people, in the general sense, said, Behold, Yahweh our God has shown us his glory, yada yada. Why should we die? This fire will consume us. For no one has heard this and lived. Go you near and hear all that." So this is still part of that quotation. And then you said this.
So, Yahweh, is this it? 28? Yahweh heard the voice of your words?
Yeah, so I guess that's the end of the quote then.
Okay, so
So
we will hear
you
it
go
and
talk.
do it.
You go talk instead, and we'll believe you this time. I think that's the message here.
We promise.
And then Moses is like, you said you would believe me.
Yeah.
This is what
Yeah,
you
exactly.
said. I remember.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yahweh heard the voice of your words when you spoke to me, and Yahweh said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of the people when they have spoken to you. They have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there was such a heart in them, that they would fear me and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go tell them, return you to your tents. But as for you, stay
Moses.
you here by me. I'm sorry. This is really confusing, God. This is really confusing. But as for you, go you here.
Nope.
Sorry, damn it. But as for you, stand you here by me, and I will speak to you all the commandment and the statutes and the ordinances which you shall teach them, that they may do them in the land which I give them to possess it.
As for you, Moses, here's the leash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shall observe to do therefore as Yahweh your God has commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. Okay, stay on the straight and narrow or what?
Yeah, I guess
weird.
so, yeah.
You shall walk in all the way which Yahweh your God has commanded you, that you may live and that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which you shall possess. It's funny, like, you need to walk in the manner in which I tell you to.
Yeah. I think
I know that's a metaphor, but still.
That's been clearly part of the relationship from the beginning, though.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's like, do it exactly as I say. Don't add extra things. Do it exactly like I said.
I'm the only one who gets to add extra things.
Yeah, well, that's
And
the
I will
relationship.
add extra things.
Yeah,
Come on,
trust
let's be
me.
honest here.
Be ready
Yeah.
for so much extra, really.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
shall we just carry on then to Deuteronomy
Please.
6? Oh boy, here we go. Verse 1 is, Now this is the commandment, the statutes, and the ordinances which Yahweh your God commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you go over to possess it. So this is, that whole chapter that Emily just read was kind of the backstory and the lead up to like, now you better listen to these, and now this is the these.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, when you go over to possess it, that you might fear Yahweh your God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, and your son. It said you twice. Which I command you, and your son's son, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged.
Wait, that was a weird circular statement. It was like,
Yeah.
these are okay, I'm going to simplify. These
Yeah.
are the commandments that I'm giving you that you might. I'm going to give you these commandments so that you'll keep these commandments. Basically, like,
Well, no, he's saying.
is he just reiterating? I got a little lost there.
Well, he's saying, I'm giving you these commandments so that you will do them in the land where you go to possess. So, like, that you'll do them in this new land of Canaan that you've taken.
Okay.
Or that you're going to take, that's still unclear. I guess that you're going to take, because Moses is still alive. And
But he's not going. He's not allowed.
He's not going to go, yeah.
He gets to look at it.
Yeah. So
Oh,
then...
nice.
So I'm going to teach all these to you so you can do them there, and that you'll fear Yahweh and keep his statutes, which I command you and your son and your son's son, and that by doing this, all your days may be prolonged.
Yep, you got it.
So you'll live longer by doing it.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Hear therefore, Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahweh, the God of your fathers, has promised to you, in a land flowing with milk and honey.
Oh.
Do we drink for repeated metaphors?
Oh, I was already drinking, so
Okay, yeah, that's true.
and I was
I
just
feel like that metaphor is going to be there constantly,
It
like
is.
throughout
Yeah.
this entire thing. I wonder if it'll be in the New Testament.
Oh, well, we'll have to find out.
In a couple years.
Yeah. Hear, Israel, Yahweh is our God. Yahweh is one. Now, this punctuation's confusing. It goes, Hear, Israel, colon, Yahweh is our God, semicolon, Yahweh is one,
it's like a math problem.
colon, a second colon here. And you shall love Yahweh your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might.
Period.
Period. All right. These words, which I command you this day, shall be on your heart, semicolon, and you shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. Always talk about them. Just be always talking about them.
It's just
You shall bind them for a sign on your hand, and they shall be symbols between your eyes.
is that like the binding of Isaac? Oh no, that was something
That
else.
happened
That already
before.
happened. It's that video game too.
Yeah. You shall bind them for a sign on your hand.
This is actually a thing in Judaism. Can you write it down
Really?
and I'll look it up for the bonus content?
Okay, yeah. For
Yeah.
a sign on your hand. Okay. We'll talk about that later. And a symbol between your eyes.
That too.
You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. It shall be, when Yahweh your God shall bring you into the land which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities, which you
Goodly city.
This is great. Great and goodly cities which you didn't build.
Didn't build. They just were there for you.
You barely deserve them, honestly.
Yeah.
He totally like goes on and on about how little they deserve all this.
Yeah. And houses full of all good things which you didn't fill, and cisterns dug out which you didn't dig,
Jeez.
vineyards and olive trees which you didn't plant, and you shall eat and be full. Then beware, lest you forget Yahweh, who brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
He's already he's
Okay.
just like already establishing this custom of children, of parents guilting their children for all the things that they do for them.
Oh, that's very true. It's
yeah.
like
Maybe that
well,
was just my childhood.
I gave
don't
you
know.
everything that I have ever, used or whatever that I have ever like.
I cook your meals. I
gotten
clean
in my life.
the house.
Yeah.
I make sure you go to school. I pay the bills.
And you don't do any work for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a thing recently that said like, don't say that kind of stuff to your kids because the kids didn't ask to be on this planet. You put them here. So
It's true. It is kind
Whoa.
of well.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
I actually do like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny because I do think that the parents' intention with that is just to like get their kid to be kind of grateful or understand how lucky they are, stop being so entitled and complaining. But then at the same time, it is kind of like a not very productive conversation because what can you say to that as a kid?
Right.
It's
Totally.
like,
yeah.
okay, fine,
It's
I'll
like,
go get a
cool.
job as a 10-year-old.
Right. That's
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
It makes me think of this funny article I read about like sort of a response to the baby boomers complaining about millennials being super entitled and whatever. And then kind of being like, as a millennial, we didn't ask for participation trophies.
Yeah.
You were the ones who were so insecure about your own lives that you had to give them to us. So like,
Whoa.
Yeah, Yahweh,
Damn.
you're the one who gave us the freaking participation trophies. You're the one who gave us these very rigid, inflexible laws, and now you're complaining when we can't follow them exactly to the letter.
you told us we
Yeah.
had to go to Canaan and take this land, and now you're guilting us.
You've ordered us to love you, which
Totally.
is ironic.
Oh, boy. All right, before we go on to the next chapter of the Bible, we want to take a quick moment to talk about how this show gets made and how you can help ensure that this show keeps getting made. And the best way to do that is to become one of our supporters on Patreon. So on our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy, we have several tiers where you can help support this show as well as getting a bunch of cool benefits. So the first is that even for just $1 a month, you can become a member of our Patreon, and that helps us to keep this show going, as well as getting you access to being able to comment on the Patreon page, as well as read comments that we make or that other members make. At $6 a month, you can be a parishioner, which lets you get access to our bonus episodes, which we record basically every week to go along with the episode. Sometimes
They're very fun.
Yeah, they're super fun to do. Sometimes these are like more in-depth analysis or research on something, or sometimes it's an interview with an expert. Sometimes it's just watching movies or musicals based on the Bible together and joking about them or commenting on them. And then at $12 a month, you can become a disciple. And with that, in addition to becoming part of the community, getting all the bonus episodes and anything else that we put out, you also get ad-free episodes, and they come out 2 days early. So you get to be cooler than all of your friends because you already know those Bible chapters 2 days before them. So then when you listen together with them, you can be like, I knew that.
I knew that, obviously. Duh. No question.
Yeah, exactly.
So in addition to this, we're also really trying to reach our goal of getting 300 patrons. So this is a very exciting goal because once we reach it, we can start releasing 2 Bible studies a week instead of 1. And that's amazing. I mean, it means that you and we do not need to wait as long between episodes. We don't have to wait as long to record multiple episodes. Y'all don't need to wait as long to get those multiple episodes. So it's a win-win-win, win-win for everyone.
Also, we would absolutely love to hear what you think of the show. So if you can take 2 minutes out of your day to go to iTunes or to Stitcher and leave us a review, we would love to hear from you. Is there a particular chapter that really moved you as you heard us drunkenly read it and make jokes about it. What's your background? Were you also raised atheist like Emily was, or were you raised in the church, in the Christian church like Jason and I were? Were you raised in a completely different religion? We want to know your thoughts. So again, go to iTunes or go to Stitcher and leave us a review. Let us know.
Okay, where did I leave off? I lost my place.
You left.
Full of good things.
Yes.
Eat and be full. Verse 13. You shall fear Yahweh your God, and him you shall serve, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the peoples who are round about you. For Yahweh your God in the midst of you is a jealous God, lest the anger of Yahweh your God be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the earth.
It's just, you have to love me, and if you make me too jealous, I'm literally going to kill you.
I will literally
Gracious.
erase
It's
you from the face of the earth.
Such a bad model. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm not going to say anything else. Keep going.
What if you're like, I think it's fine. I don't know. He's an okay guy, I guess.
It's not good enough.
Would you be killed for that?
I see. If you're just sort of mediocre about it. If you're like,
Yeah, if you're fairly ambivalent either way, you know?
It's the weird irony that if you were just okay with this god, you wouldn't have the tolerance to handle all of these very strict bylaws and statutes and stuff. You would have to love him, but then that's kind of canceled out by the fact that he's ordered you to love and fear him. So, I don't know. I mean, Alan Watts talks about how Judeo-Christianity and Judeo-Christian values are kind of based in this, like, God as a king kind of situation,
right?
You know, as opposed to different traditions that treat God or any kind of all supreme power as like a slightly different relationship. But this is very much the king who literally does have the power to either cut off your head right in that instant, or I guess what's a good thing a king could do for you?
Give you land.
Give you land.
That's usually what kings did.
Wow, it's literally that.
It is literally
that. It's like I give you land or I could cut off your head.
Yeah, no, he's giving them land contingent upon whether or not they actually like do these things.
Like how precisely you can bow and scrape.
Yeah, no, that is very much like that king model. Yeah, for sure. That's 100% like how kings would.
Alan Watts then goes on to say that like how can you build a democracy when your country is also in this foundation of the universe being a monarchy?
Whoa.
I'll leave y'all to think about that conundrum. Let's keep reading the Bible.
Okay.
Yikes. Yeah.
You shall not tempt Yahweh your God as you tempted him in Massah.
Tempt him to what? To destroy you?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2 were good and 3 were bad and blah, 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 blah. Arm movements.
I guess that must be
6
what
were
it was.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahweh your God, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. You shall do that which is right and good in the sight of Yahweh, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to thrust out all your enemies from before you, as Yahweh has spoken. When your son asks you in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the ordinances?
What mean the testimonies?
Yeah. What mean the testimonies, the statutes, and the ordinance which Yahweh your God has commanded you?
Daddy? 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 Daddy?
What mean
Daddy?
these?
Daddy? Daddy?
Oh.
What mean these crazy sounding testimonies?
Then you shall tell your son, we were Pharaoh's bondservants in Egypt, and Yahweh brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And Yahweh shone signs and wonders, great and sore, on Egypt, on Pharaoh, and on all his house before our eyes.
Yeah, you can say that again. He killed all the firstborns.
He did
and
some
a bunch of other stuff.
Daddy, are you talking about infanticide?
Oh, yes.
That's exactly
son.
what I'm talking about.
Oh, yes. And he brought us out from there that he might bring us in, to give us the land which he swore to our fathers. You mean all those people he killed? Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes to fear Yahweh our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive,
Sorry.
as at this day. It shall be righteousness to us if we observe to do all this commandment before Yahweh our God, as he has commanded us.
So, Daddy, is that why you had to cut off my foreskin? Daddy?
Yes, son. That's why.
Is that why I watched you feed poison to mommy? Daddy?
Yep.
Oh no, how
Yep.
sad.
Yep. It wasn't poison. It was radiation. But sure.
Oh.
It was radiation.
That was our ridiculous theory.
Yeah.
We already talked about this so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we talked about it, but I thought that it was like dirt and stuff.
Yeah, but
And, like-
radioactive dirt.
Yeah, radioactive
was
fallout
That
dirt.
was the theory. Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
From the
Cool.
nuclear reactor inside the ark.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Got it. I remember now.
Yeah.
All right.
Good theory.
Deuteronomy 7. Okay, I'm not a little child anymore, right?
No, I mean, that would be painful for you to read this
It
whole
would.
chapter in that
Okay.
kid voice.
When Yahweh your God shall bring you into the land where you go to possess it, and shall cast out many nations before you, the Hittite and the Girgashite and
Who's a Girgashite?
the Gerber
What
baby,
a name.
the Girgashite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite, 7 nations greater and mightier than you.
Mm-hmm.
And when Yahweh your God shall deliver them up before you, and you shall strike them, then you shall utterly destroy them.
Holy moly.
You shall make
Whoa.
no covenant
Whoa.
with them, nor show mercy to them. Neither shall you make
Gosh.
marriages with them. Your daughter you shall not give to his son, nor his daughter shall you take to your son. For he will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
Wow. This is like, yeah, you can't like have two people in two different religions be together.
Basically, because one of them's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
pull
Yeah.
away the other one.
It's annoying. Jeez.
For he will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you, and he will destroy you quickly.
Betty will.
so quickly.
Betty will.
Yeah.
But thus shall you deal with them. You shall break down their altars, and dash in pieces their pillars, and hew down their Asherim. We looked this up for a bonus content once.
Do you remember what it
Asherim.
was?
I think she was a goddess.
Okay.
I think she was maybe the one who, maybe in certain traditions, was Yahweh's wife, actually.
I thought
was
that
that
was
the
a
one?
different name.
That was worshipped in the region. We don't have to look it up now.
okay.
And burn their engraved images with fire. For you are a holy people to Yahweh your God. Yahweh your God has chosen you to be a people for his own possession, above all peoples who are on the face of the earth. Yahweh
His
didn't...
own possession.
Uh-huh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, and also like this kind of, is it? I think that I've heard of people like going and destroying, other religious things in the world.
Yeah, I think we've heard of that a couple
think we've
times,
heard of that,
maybe.
yeah.
I think I read
Well,
about it in
sure.
a magazine once.
But this is like, yeah, again, setting precedent for that. It's just, it's really sad knowing
it is. It is.
the way that the world currently is, the state of it, and that it has been over time.
Yeah, there
and
has-
it's just kind of like all written here in black and white. It's like, well, God said that it was fine to do this, that in fact I should do it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, this is how
It's
you're
like-
successful as a people, is you destroy everyone else.
I wonder how common this was at the time. Like, were these new things they were doing, or was this just what everyone did? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when if the Canaanites conquered someone else, would they do the same thing? I don't know.
I mean, well, okay. Maybe this isn't good
I don't know either.
comparative analysis, but if we think about the Egyptian, okay, not good comparative analysis because I'm just basing it on what we've read in the Bible.
Okay.
So if we think about the Egyptians didn't exactly go in and be like, we got to kill all of them. I mean, they were like, we got to kill the firstborn sons. But they weren't like, we got to destroy all their holy objects and not allow them to worship. And we need to make sure that they only worship our gods. At least not that was written. I feel like if that was happening, that would have been written down in this tale, because that would be another instance of the Israelites being oppressed.
Yeah.
Huh. But I thought that was one of the issues of contention, wasn't it? Because Pharaoh
Was
was
it?
worshipped as a god, and them having Yahweh, who they thought was a greater god than Pharaoh, was a problem.
Well, sure, but
Wasn't that a problem with Joseph? Or there was something where I remember that coming up.
well, if you don't remember specifically,
Yeah.
okay. Yahweh didn't set his love on you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all peoples.
Really?
Really? Because it
Okay.
seemed like the numbers you were given leaving Egypt
Yeah.
was a lot of people.
They were pretty ample.
Yeah,
You know?
okay. But because Yahweh loves you, and because he would keep the oath which he swore to your fathers, has Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that Yahweh your God, he is God, the faithful God, who keeps covenant and loving kindness with them who love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. There's a lot more love talk than we've gotten up to this point.
I noticed that.
That is a little surprising.
Yeah, like really playing up how loving kindness-y.
Yeah. It's like we know how much stuff he's done, but we just want you to remember how loving kindness he is.
It's like they doubled down on the PR.
Yeah, exactly. This is a propaganda book for sure.
Or maybe, again, if Deuteronomy was written actually not at the time that all this stuff was happening, maybe it's kind of like cultural trends around gods were changing, and so there was more of this narrative of like, hey, it's important if your god loves you back.
Maybe.
You know, as opposed to him just being this ridiculous power that we have no way to influence or dialogue with, that maybe just the trends in God worship in general was, loving gods are in. They are in, baby.
Loving
Super
gods are in.
Okay. And he repays those who hate him to their face.
Oof.
Not behind their back, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him who hates him. He will repay him to his face.
Sweet.
Right in the face. You shall therefore keep the commandment and the statutes and the ordinances which I command you this day to do them. It shall happen because you listen to these ordinances and keep and do them, that Yahweh your God will keep with you the covenant and the loving kindness which he swore to your fathers. And he will love you and bless you. So he has so much more love.
Yeah.
Love has been said a billion more times than we've ever encountered it in the entire Old Testament so far, I think.
More times in this episode than in all the rest of the Old Testament that we've read so far.
So he'll love you, he'll bless you, he'll multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your body.
What?
And the fruit of your ground, your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, the increase of your cattle, and the young of your flock, in the land which he swore to your fathers to give you.
I just love that it's like the multiply, he's going to multiply you, like they're clones or something. Like I can just see like everyone kind of being cloned and coming out.
You shall be blessed above all peoples. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle.
What a promise.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a big proclamation right there.
Yahweh will take away from you all sickness and none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which,
excuse me?
will he put on you, but will lay them on all those who hate you. That sentence didn't quite make sense. I think they were trying to say that he's
going to disease the people who don't believe in me.
Yes, none of the evil diseases will he put on you. He will lay them on all those who hate you. I got it.
Well,
okay.
I called bull poop on that one right there.
Well, it's kind of this impossible goal to reach, right? It's like all of these statutes I do feel like are impossible for all human beings to carry out through the entirety of their lives. And especially for all human beings, a huge group of human beings to concurrently carry out all of these statutes. So if anything bad happens, there's always going to be the excuse of like, it's because someone did something bad. Right?
Yeah.
It's an impossible goal to hit. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So Yahweh never actually has to put his money where his mouth is, essentially.
Because you're not going to do all these things.
Because they're not. Because they're human and they're imperfect.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to be. You know, we establish this ritual for cleansing yourself because we establish that being unclean is temporary and can be cleansed. So we know you're going to get unclean in some way. But we're still going to dangle in front of you this idea of like, if you could, by your own power, somehow actually follow all this stuff, then oh my goodness, I'm going to give you like a freaking solid gold toaster. You're never going to get sick again. Like you'll never get adult acne ever in your life. Like all the sex you ever have is going to be good. Everyone's going to be fertile. It's just going to be great. You shall consume all the peoples who Yahweh your God shall deliver to you. Your eyes shall not pity them, neither shall you serve their gods, for that will be a snare to you. if I can speak English,
Wait, what?
This is a difficult chapter. It's difficult to understand.
Yeah.
if you shall say in your heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? You'd probably be a reasonable person.
These nations are more than I, meaning like they have more people in them?
Yeah, and greater.
Greater, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You shall not be afraid of them. You shall well remember what Yahweh your God did to Pharaoh and to all Egypt.
Awkward.
Yeah.
The great trials which your eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the outstretched arm, whereby Yahweh your God brought you out, so shall Yahweh your God do to all the peoples of whom you are afraid. Moreover, Yahweh your God will send the hornet among them, until those who are left and hide themselves perish from before you.
I'm in my mind, he's talking about the green hornet.
Oh, see, because in my mind it was a callback to when we were talking about bees and stuff.
The Green Hornet?
Yeah, because he's talking about these bad guys, and it's like you send in the Green Hornet, and him and Kato go in and mess everyone
and that's
up.
not. Is that also Jeremy Renner? Is Jeremy Renner back? Who plays the Green Hornet?
Well,
No, that was wasn't that? Oh,
what's his
who
name?
Was that? It was Seth Rogen, right?
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
What? Seth Rogen?
Yeah,
Was
not
Seth
part of the
Rogen?
same universe.
Right.
I don't think.
Okay, so we'll
Right,
send in
'cause
Seth
Green
Rogen.
DC?
Green Hornet's a DC thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna send in Seth Rogen.
I'm looking
That
up
would
some
be weird.
translations here because I'm confused about this.
Okay,
This
about the
hornet,
hornet?
thing. Some translations are saying God will send terror on them, which is interesting. Send hornets. Okay, so the English Standard Version says hornets plural, not just the Green Hornet, but just hornets.
Single Hornet.
God's Word translation says the Lord your God will spread panic among them.
Huh.
Yeah, a few of them say panic among them.
I mean, if there were hornets among me, I would panic for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Depends on the amount of hornets.
Interesting. The Message Bible says, and to top it off, the hornet. Now that's the hornet
What?
with a capital H.
Okay,
as
that's
in
100% Seth Rogen.
a proper name. It's Seth Rogen. And to top
Okay.
it off, the hornet. God will unleash the hornet on them until every survivor in hiding is dead.
Jeez.
Okay, we got to look that up. We'll do
some research
what exactly
on that for the
the
bonus.
hornet is.
The
The
hornet.
capital H hornets.
Okay.
You shall not be
That's
scared
hilarious.
of them, for Yahweh your God is in the midst of you, a great and awesome God.
So awesome.
Our God is an awesome God.
God is an awesome God. It's
Yeah.
true. Okay.
I toyed with the idea of a variation on that being our theme song for this show.
Is it not copy protected?
Oh, it is. That's why I was going to be a sort of a parody of
I
it.
see. Okay.
That I
Wait,
was
is
going
that
to write.
What is that? What?
Our God
is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God.
The number of times
I'm
we're going to
just gonna
sing on the
drink some
show
more.
and terrorize Emily, I just
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, her face during that singing was delightful.
Okay.
Yeah, Our God is an awesome God. It's by Lifehouse, I think.
Is it really? Is it that
I think
modern?
so. Yeah, it's more modern than I expected.
Is Lifehouse? Didn't they have a one song that was?
They had a lot of songs.
No, maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I
Oh,
thought that
no.
they had like one hit.
Yeah, sorry. It's Awesome God is a contemporary worship song written by Rich Mullins. And it was originally recorded in 1988, but it was covered by everybody.
that's not-
It's covered by
Lifehouse.
everybody. It's like the quintessential contemporary Christian worship song, I feel.
I don't know if I would say
you're
it's
going to take
the-
issue with that.
Well, it's one of.
Sure. But I think that when you think of just, it scratches all the boxes. It scratches those boxes.
Scratches the box.
It scratches them down and up.
Just gently.
It checks
scratches
all the
them.
boxes of easy to learn, simple lyrics, has hand signals that go along with it, very simple
Oh,
melody.
Your favorite.
Yeah, Dedeker loves the hand signals.
Not
that go
really
along
that
with it.
great of a song. Like it scratches all those boxes.
Yeah. Okay.
Dedeker, you're funny.
Scratches them
Your
right
turn
out.
of phrase sometimes
I'm
is very
drinking
funny.
and
and
I
also the
hate
way
it.
in which you pronounce things. There was something at the beginning of this episode that I was like, I wanted to. I forget
Oh,
what it was.
dang,
but-
I
Tease
missed
me
it.
about it later. I'm going to keep reading the Bible.
Okay.
Okay, yes, great and awesome God, yes. Yahweh your God will cast out those nations before you, little by little and little. You may not consume them at once, lest the animals of the field increase on you. What does that mean?
Sorry,
What? And also consume them? Are we talking about cannibalism here?
Cannibalism?
Cannelloni? What does the message say about this verse?
What verse number is this?
22.
22.
Okay, hang on. Let's see.
Also, like, the animals of the field increase on you. Like, are the animals just going to increase and become so massive and mighty that, like, you can't get through to these other people to, like, kill them?
The message is wacky. God, your God, will get rid of these nations bit by bit. You won't be permitted to wipe them all out at once, lest the wild animals take over and overwhelm you.
Okay, hang on. I know why this verse is in there.
What?
I 100% know why this verse is in there.
Why?
Please
It's because
enlighten us.
some smarmy Israelite was like, well, if Yahweh's going to hand over all this land to us and like we're destined to have it, and if we follow his statutes, he's just going to give it to us, why can't he just like let us wipe out everyone at once, you know, and just click, you know, snap your fingers and then gone. And then Moses like, well, you know, I mean,
can't procreate that fast.
Yeah, well, it's just, well, I mean, like, he could. It's like, Yahweh could. He could if he wanted to. But, you know, if, like, just think about it. Think about it. Like, if you got rid of everyone at once, like, what's left? Huh? What's left?
And all the wild animals are going to take over.
They're just going to,
And they're going to have so much
the giraffes
food
and the gorillas are just going to come galloping in, and they're going to take over the cities full of good things, and they're going to eat all the grapes in the vineyards that you didn't plant, and they're going to climb up in the watchtower and throw their own feces at you, and then you're going to be sad.
Okay.
I was imagining almost more of like Narnia world,
Even
where it's
better.
like all the centaurs and the satyrs, and you know all of them are going to take
unicorns.
over. And
Like, have you seen what's happening in Greece? Do you want that? I don't think that you want that, do you? This is how we get centaurs.
Oh snap! You're right.
Did centaurs happen now?
No,
What is
no,
that question,
that's
Emily?
I don't-
Hang on, Jace. Hang
Okay,
on.
I'm sorry.
What is that question, Emily? What do you mean
It
by that
wasn't a real question. It was
Okay.
just like,
I just-
don't understand like why those two things were related. Like you were talking about centaurs and then you're like, Greece has animals on throwing feces at the humans. Like what?
He was making a reference to humans and animals crossbreeding with each other and making things like centaurs.
Because you said Narnia with centaurs, and so then I was referencing Greece and Greek mythology that has centaurs and kind of holding them up as a example of like, this is what we don't want to have happen when the
I
wild
thought you were
animals
talking
take
about
over.
Greece currently because, you know, they're like having a little bit of a challenging time right now.
I know all the centaurs.
And so,
there
hang on,
are-
you thinking
it was
you thinking,
overrun
hang on,
by
hang on, Emily,
centaurs.
hang on. And so you thinking
You
I was talking
hang
about
on.
Greece currently prompted you to ask if centaurs are a thing again.
You know, you were talking about all of those things at once. I didn't know where your timelines were because, yeah, remember, like, it said, I thought that, like, it was common knowledge that, like, unicorns maybe used to be around. Like,
Is that
probably
common
not.
knowledge?
I don't know. Like, people were like, yeah, they're just extinct now. It's probably crap, but maybe.
I thought
And
that
then,
I thought that it was
what?
just that someone saw a rhinoceros once and poorly described it to someone, and then they wrote it down as like a horse with a horn, because that stuff happened
love that.
all the time back then when you couldn't
I
just take a
bet.
picture on your smartphone and be like, this is what it looks like. You could be like, it's
Oh,
this
that's a
big beast
rhinoceros.
with like four you know, hooves, and it runs along the ground and it has this big horn, and then you're like, ooh, I know what
But
that
it's on
is.
their nose. The horn is on their nose, not on their forehead.
Well, but you also have to account for there being language barriers and things getting mistranslated
right.
and like that stuff happened all the time. That's why freaking mermaids are because someone saw a manatee once.
They're like, I saw this manatee
Manatees.
and it was so hot.
They're like, the bottom half was like a fish and the top half was really adorable, and then someone drew a mermaid.
So it was like, oh, like a person, but with a fish bottom. That sounds like something else. But yeah, okay.
Great.
We're so close to the end of this chapter.
Can we finish this Bible?
All right, I have a translation to read, but I'll read it at the end.
Oh, you
It's
sure?
a little prize
Oh,
at the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, animals of the field, yes. Whew, we really went on a tangent with that one. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But Yahweh your God will deliver them up before you and will confuse them with a great confusion. This is how I feel.
Okay. Okay.
Until they be destroyed. He will deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall make their name to perish from under the sky. There shall be no man be able There shall no man be able to stand before you until you have destroyed them.
What?
The engraved images of...
Yeah, no, that is confusing.
Hang on. There shall no man be able to stand before
Trucking
you
all along.
until you have destroyed them. Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
Oh, maybe it's like, okay, no one can stand before you. You're going to beat everybody until you've beat all the ones I've told you to beat, and then maybe someone will beat you.
Okay.
I think that's...
What? I don't know about that logic, Jace.
It makes sense to me.
Until
Okay,
you...
It's sort of like
proven-
putting like an ending clause on the contract, you know?
Oh, yeah, maybe it's kind of like a just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The engraved images of their gods shall you burn with fire.
Ooh, yeah.
You shall not covet the silver or the gold that is on them, nor take it
Oh,
to
but
you.
come on.
No, he's like, no. Lest you be snared therein, for it is an abomination to Yahweh your God.
Interesting, yeah.
You shall not bring an abomination into your house and become a devoted thing like it. You shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly abhor it, for it is a devoted thing.
What did you think devoted thing means in this
probably
context?
like an idol.
Like they loved it. They loved this
Yeah.
thing that was not God, and so kill it with fire.
Yeah, they've
literally.
imbued it with some powers.
A devote, like meaning that other things were devoted to it? It's just like devoted is such a weird word.
Like,
to
I don't
use
know,
here.
an object of power or a holy object, I assume.
Let's
Yeah, that-
see.
One shows devotion for.
Yeah.
I'm looking up translations here. A cursed thing is used.
Oh.
Some are just like because they're under the ban. These are banned.
All right. Great. Yeah.
There's some bad things. This is one of them, so don't even.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your funny thing, Jace?
Okay, this is Tyndale, our good buddy
Of
Tyndale.
course. How could I forget Mr. Tyndale?
Yeah. So this is that verse about driving out the nations little by little so that the wild beasts don't take over it.
Okay.
This is what Tyndale has to say. And I think Tyndale really captures this the most accurately here. The Lord thy God will put out these nacios before thee.
Nacios.
Nacios.
What's a nacio?
Like a
The
nation?
nations, yeah.
Oh, nacios.
Oh.
Nacios.
Oh,
Nacios.
nacios.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's cute. The Lord thy God will put out these nacios before thee, a little ad a little. Thou mayest not consume thee at once, lest the beasties of the field increase upon thee.
The beasties.
The beasties.
You wouldn't want them beasties of the field increasing upon ye.
And the beasties is spelled Beestes.
Oh, bless him.
Beasties.
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 Like
It's
it's a
like-
bee.
With
But
Tyndale,
it's a-
I can't
a big
tell.
Yeah, it's not the hornet, it's the beasties.
I'm like, Tyndale, were you a 15th century genius or were you a 21st century toddler? I can't tell.
Aw,
Based on the
jeez.
spelling, you know?
I also just love the kind of accent you put on every time you do Tyndale, and you're like, and then the beasties and
just
the
like
hornets and whatever.
a tiny bit of fop you sprinkle in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely foppish. I'll give you that.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Now I'm looking up the Tyndale verse about the hornets. We didn't even do that before.
Oh, yes, please.
Thereto the Lord thy God will send hornetus among them until they that are left and hide themselves from thee to be destroyed.
Yeah. Yep.
The hornetus. The green horneta.
The hornetus.
Seth Rogen.
What if one of the translations was some sort of like hidden way of saying Seth Rogen, and that's part of the prophecy?
Oh, shoot.
That's a
Yeah,
good conspiracy theory.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Wait, what was the one that Ryan Reynolds was in?
Daredevil?
No,
No.
that was Jason. That was Ben
Even
Affleck.
I know
Okay,
that.
Oh, I get those two confused.
what? They're not even remotely similar.
Was he the Green Arrow?
Okay, no. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively met on the
He's the Green Lantern.
set of
Green
one of-
Lantern.
There you. Thank you, Dedeker. Thank you.
Yeah, Green Lantern's different from Green Hornet. Also, Green Lantern is
I know.
is Marvel,
But they're both
right?
green.
Or are they both DC?
I-
Shoot.
I don't know.
Dedeker, do you
think-
have it up?
Do we have to talk about this now?
Nah. That's
Yeah, he's
fine.
DC. He's in the Justice League.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wait, are there two green things in DC
There's several
called
green
the
things.
Green something?
There's several green things. There's Green Lantern, there's the Green Hornet, and there's
Green
also
Arrow.
Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Well, that's just DC. What were you thinking?
They found the color that works for them and they're going with it.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what's going to happen next time?
Probably more recap. Probably I don't know, but yeah, more statutes and limitations.
Yeah, I
know.
would think so. Probably more.
Do you think these Israelites are ever going to actually get into Canaan? Or we're going to do all this talking? I mean, I have a rough
Maybe
sense
in
of how
the
story
next
goes.
book.
In the next book, you think?
Yeah, I think that it might take us this whole book to just go over statutes, and then we'll get
Just
to
the
canon
prep.
at the end.
Just
Yeah.
the prep. Okay. Alrighty.
Because I'm pretty sure that
it's
Sorry, go ahead, Emily.
32. No, it's like 32 chapters, right?
Yeah, we're cruising along though. We just got through 7 of them now.
Oh yeah, we're making good progress.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right.
goodness.
We'll see. But yeah, that's probably going to, because I mean, Deuteronomy, we looked up, means the second laws or whatever,
Yes.
the second law. So it's probably going to be
The review.
laws. Yeah.
We love laws. That's okay. We love laws on
We love
this
it.
show.
We
Laws
love-
are great.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to know
Okay.
how to act. We need to know what shellfish to not eat.
This is the context that I think
All
is
of
going
them,
to
if you're
set.
me.
Yeah, well, this is going to set the stage for everything that we learn after this. So I think it's important to really like drive home. This is the cultural basis and like the base set of laws that literally everything else in this whole book is going to be based on this, right? Because it's all
Really?
about the Israelites, right? It's all
The
about
rest of this of the New Old Testament.
of all of it.
Okay.
Because Jesus was an Israelite, you know, he was a Jew. So like they're all
Yeah.
part of this same lineage. So like having this foundation, that's why it's worth learning, I think.
All right.
You know?
Yeah.
I
Love it.
almost just asked if Jesus was some random Jew. And then I was like, I guess technically, according to these people, he wasn't, but according to the Jewish people, he might have been.
Wait, according to
Just
which
some
people?
Like, or maybe, sorry, the New Testament people. Christians, that's what they're called.
No, I mean, Jesus was a Jew. Christians
Yeah.
do know that.
Yeah.
He was
I'm not,
a Jew.
I was
But she
saying,
meant
like,
just a random
if he was
guy.
some random guy.
Yes.
Yeah. No, the New Testament does try to show that his lineage is related to important people, because that's important, I guess.
Right.
But either way, he
Cool.
was a Jew nonetheless, which meant that he was raised with these sorts of things being part of his culture.
Okay.
So yeah,
Interesting.
it's worth
Wow.
knowing.
Amazing. Okay, so let's wrap things up.
That's it. I got nothing else. Thank you for joining us for Bible study today. If you want even more Drunk Bible Study, including ad-free episodes, early releases, personal toasts on the show, and more, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. You could also find us on Twitter at Drunk Biblecast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Emily Matlack, Dedeker Winston, and me, Jace Lindgren. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from their album Home of the. The theme song for the book of Deuteronomy is Truth in the Stones by Kevin MacLeod. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.